It's very common for a betrayed spouse to utter the words that an unfaithful will say as well. And it's this phrase that I hear so often, is that the pain is so dark, or the hurt is so deep, I feel like I'm losing myself. And I absolutely concur. Early on, the devastation swirling around our life, the immense sense of loss that was being experienced by Samantha, but also being experienced by me, I just felt like I was dying a slow, miserable, horrendous death, being reduced to dirt, as was Samantha, that we just felt like we were losing ourselves. We were so enveloped with pain until we met the right people, we couldn't really get a vision for the fact that we were going to be whole again one day. It's vital that you have mediums, and with great humility, this is a medium. There are so many other mediums out there. It's vital that you find mediums like this to help paint a picture for the fact that one day you can and will be whole again. There's always going to be a scar, okay? I have several scars from several surgeries and accidents. I can rub them. They don't hurt anymore. They remind me of what I've lived through. Your scars will remind you of what you've lived through. If you're not feeling like there's a part of you that you're losing, then you're probably not in an immense amount of pain, or you're so far from it that maybe it's hard to remember what it's like. I'm pretty confident that 99% of all of you that are watching have either felt or are feeling now like you're losing a part of yourself. See, the reality is recovery is just as much about unlearning as it is about learning. You see, when we are unlearning old habits. We're unlearning defense mechanisms. We're unlearning personality traits. We're unlearning ways of communicating that are not helpful, not redemptive, and are only going to be even more combative in the middle of immense trauma. When we are unlearning, we're having to oftentimes relentlessly fight for freedom and a new perspective and hope. Because, oh, by the way, life doesn't sit back and go, oh, you're trying to save your marriage. Let's not have any car trouble or bills or financial trouble or any other health issues. This is life, and we're going to just put it on hold while you work on saving your relationship. Absolutely not. If anything, it's kind of like, oh, you're in the middle of trauma? Hey, guess what? We are going to just kick the crap out of you with financial issues, car issues, health issues, children issues. I know there's a lot going on. It's going to get worse. Guess what? We're going to beat you down. That's what it feels like, right? Life doesn't get put on hold. And so I know that you feel like you're probably losing some of yourself. And I want to help you today because I want you to, number one, know that it's absolutely normal and to be expected. Number two, you should really be losing part of yourself. And let me help you, the unfaithful, first. You should be losing the dysfunction that made you think having an affair was okay. You should be losing some of the dysfunction that you allowed in your life to justify or minimize what you have done. You should be losing some of the hypocrisy or the arrogance or the pride that made you think that your affair or affairs or addiction was or is or will ever be justified because your spouse wasn't A, B, C, D, etc., etc. You should be losing your pride that made you think that you were better than everybody else and that you deserved special treatment. You should be losing the idea that you deserve to be happy above and beyond anything in life. You should be losing things along these lines and hopefully gaining new perspective, new appreciation. For me, let me get real personal. When everything was falling down around me, I couldn't write it down really, I couldn't put it into words, but I was losing this narcissism, this pride, this self-absorption. I was being stripped of so much false identity and so much image management and so much arrogance and security that were rooted in how many people loved me, how many people applauded me, how successful I appeared, the affirmation of so many people that I was in the in crowd, and I could go on and on. I was losing part of myself that I had gathered that was not even real. It was such a load of crap. I was losing those things and I needed to. Now, this is going to be a bit tedious, but hear me out. Samantha was losing some things and unlearning some things and needed to. She was losing the idea that if you just are a good person, everything will go your way. And that's just not true. She was a fantastic, and still is a fantastic person. But just because you're a good person doesn't mean that you're not going to encounter a bunch of incredible pain and hurt. And as I've said before, if you're new, Samantha had not done anything wrong. Her husband, who was a high-profile figure, cheated, and people were told to leave her alone because we needed privacy, when in reality we were dropped out of a C-130 over a desert that nobody wanted to be in. I mean, everybody forsook her, which was complete lunacy. And so she was losing an idea about church people that they were always going to be there for you. Samantha was also losing this belief system of, if you're good to people, and if you pray, and if you stay close to the Lord, and if you love your husband and love your kids, you're not going to have any trouble or difficulty, because if you're good to others, they're going to be good to you. She was losing that belief system because that was no longer true for her. She was getting the crap beat out of her by my choices, the choices of so many other people, and life in general. She was unlearning some things about her worldview. She was losing the idea that she wasn't going to have to fight for everything significant in her life. And let me tell you, Samantha's 5'9", incredibly ravishing, full of beauty inside and out. Samantha is my ideal woman, and in so many ways. But you don't look at Samantha and think, ooh, that woman can fight. You look at her and go, oh, she was probably a dancer, which she was. Oh, she's beautiful. She's very petite. She's, striking eyes. She blends her features incredibly well. But that woman will fight me. Like, she has unlearned this kind of die to your own desires and issues and wants in life just to make your husband happy and everybody else happy. She has learned a self-love and a concrete understanding of her own worth before God, before man, before people, before family. I mean, she will fight me, not physically, but we had a discussion just yesterday on the patio. It was a gorgeous day in Austin, finally, and we were sitting there, and she said to me, you'll love this, she said, so you've decided that this is what we're going to do? And every radar bell and whistle and sensor inside of me went off, and I said, I had a glass of bourbon in my hand, and I took a quick drink, and I said, no. I'm simply gathering information so that we can make a good decision, because I have more flexibility in my schedule than you do. And she went, oh. And she gazed upon our backyard and the beautiful green trees. And I knew. I said, do you feel better about what I've just said? And she said, yeah, the first sentence I didn't really like, where you said you were going to decide. The second sentence, where you said that you were gathering information for us, made me feel at ease. And I took another drink. And I remembered so deeply that what I had said potentially would cause a rift, and we were fine. And we're doing great on that. Please don't run with, oh, Samantha's not healed. Oh, she can be so easily triggered. That's a load of crap. It was just a healthy discussion that has hopefully given you a picture that Samantha is whole and strong and not someone that you want to mess with, I assure you, because she has found a sense of self-love and health that is amazing. When you're involved in this kind of a mess, this level of turmoil, you wish that you had this army of people around you. Unfortunately, with infidelity, it's not the case. Some people will shock you. A lot of people will leave you. Lots of people will probably talk about you. And some people will love you, and they'll become part of your inner circle. And you really can't necessarily control that. What you want to do is control your discernment to recognize who those people are, because there's going to be some scaffolding in your life that are going to be there for a season, and they're going to help you heal, and they're going to help you recover, and they're going to help stand with you maybe, and they may not be there years down the road. That's okay. Some people are scaffolding, and some people are in your inner circle. But if you're losing some of you today, that's okay. You need to lose some of you because there's a new part of you that's going to come. New bravery, new courage, new confidence, new self-love, new humility if you're an unfaithful, new appreciation for the little things, a new love of life, a new love of yourself, a new love for your spouse that you don't even feel yet. And that's okay. I just want to tell you, you may be feeling like you're losing some of yourself today. It's okay. There's some stuff you need to lose.